to the industry, to the man on the street, whose attitude needs to change as a result of science. Very little of this, because the media, as the medium in between, doesn't get carried along. Now that this is happening, I think things will change. We, at our own level, as journalists, we've been doing a lot of mentoring on our own part, because we know it is very important to have a critical mass of journalists who can appreciate science.
Whatever I have heard here, it is lived throughout all the year by those leaders, because I think there were leaders at this conference, youth leaders, women leaders, people leading in research and in university, decision makers, political leaders, that were in these days convening from different parts of Africa to bring what they are doing during their yearly life to advance Africa and its destiny through science and technology, and through taking responsibility of what science and technology can do or should do. And the other thing I got from this conference, and with a lot of thinking, strategic thinking, and also a lot of showing practical, viable solutions. Now there is this system of hours for innovation, and we got brilliant ideas of what can be done on issues that affect the daily life.
Really, the feeling and the theme in my heart is, how is science doing in Africa? We have regulations being put in place in various countries to be able to do biotechnologies and other new sciences. And in some countries, great progress has been made for science and technology. Science, indeed, is moving very fast itself, and we have genetic modifications activities going on. We have felt the relaxation of opposition to genetic modification, and therefore the atmosphere is good for science. And for us here, our role really is to see how we can fast track it so that we no longer have hunger and malnutrition in Africa. In Kenya, for instance, we have a cotton GM just passed now for growing by farmers, and maize is in the pipeline and the others. So the sciences that we do is beginning to bear fruit, and our role here really has been very effective in directing that science in our various countries. Our laws need to be moved faster, and I think we will take that step as being leaders in our various countries from where we have come, to just make sure that we have structures that support science wherever we are.
I really think that this conference has been a big push, and my joy is seeing over 250 delegates from across the world, every single one of them saying, I want to go home and implement this. Saying this is a beautiful document, it has reflected our views, they can see themselves in it. So that, I think, is a good way forward. But again, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. So I sit back and I watch, and I continue the advocacy to ensure that both ATPS and other like-minded institutions in Africa, we see that the recommendations of the manifesto is taken down to the grassroots, so that the change we are looking for is seen and not just talked about.
I think if we can make substantive progress over the next 5 years, we would be doing very well. The challenges that the African continent faces are tremendous. We're running out of natural resources. We are consuming it faster than what we can sell to resource-hungry economies. in 10 years' time, we may not have the same amount of natural resources that we are sitting on at the moment. So we do not have actually a lot of time. But I think the next 5 years will be absolutely telling for how much we actually have achieved. But we need to move ahead quite quickly.
Well, I must tell you that I feel incredibly excited. I feel inspired. I feel energized by what I saw here today. As a diasporan in science and technology in the United States of America, I came here for two reasons, two purposes in mind. The first one was to bring a message to our partners here in sub-Saharan Africa, our partners in the whole of Africa, that they have a partner in the diasporans in science and technology who are willing to work with them, who are the cutting edge of science and technology, and who want to bring back their knowledge, expertise, and networks back home. I delivered that message. The second reason why I came was also to observe, to see how serious what the infrastructure and the institutions that are being put in place is for science and technology, to know how serious we should take this endeavor. And that was accomplished. I saw seriousness, I saw commitment.
The African Technology Policies Studies Network, I believe the discussions that are going on with respect to how to rejuvenate the national chapters and make the ATPS more effective at the country levels are very important, because I believe that at the country levels, if we can make our national chapters very effective and vibrant, we'll be able to influence the policies and programs that address science, technology, and innovation capacities in these countries.
Civil society advocacy in some sense. I found this is where you need to understand STI in order to do advocate and be able to influence direction in society through advocacy and getting messages very clearly there. I also have dabbled as a part-time politician. I found the decisions about which are made in politics are extremely important in positioning STI in our societies. In my own country, recently, along with the colleagues I worked with, we have managed to make sure the party manifesto of the ruling party is embedded with a substantial amount of science and technology and innovations so that it can be a basis for implementation.
Do we have all the stakeholders involved in this process? I saw actors from government, key ministers, directors of various institutes from different parts of Africa were here. I saw scientists, young scientists with energy, with ideas that can be developed. I saw actors from industry. So that was also accomplished. And we also wanted to recognize or to see urgency in our people about how we need to move with science and technology. Because we in diaspora believe that we are so behind in science and technology that if other parts of the world are working, we should run because we are playing catch up. I also saw that sense of urgency that tells me that both government people that came, the scientists that we are here, and the policy generators, the knowledge generators that put together the manifesto that we read, understand that need for urgency. So I feel very excited and very, very honored to be part of this, and we can't wait to contribute our own quota as diasporans in this endeavor.